I'm Jackie from ArmyWife101.com, and today we have got Moni Jefferson with us. She's a PR professional, an entrepreneur, an app creator, and a military spouse who believes that everyone is newsworthy. Moni initially launched Dog Tags and Heels LLC, a public relations and social media visibility agency. She created the Milspouse creative virtual community and has launched the apps Milcam, Milemoji, and My Ultimate PCS. For those who are looking to build on their business, Moni has also developed the Pitch Like a Pro PR program. Pitch Like a PR Pro program. That's a tongue twister, which will share her insight on building a startup into 3 years working with major events and celebrities. So please help me welcome Moni Jefferson.
Hey guys, thank you, Jackie, for having me. Thank you, Army Wife 101. I'm super pumped to be here.
Thanks. We're super happy to have you. And I'm really excited that I met you at a recent event for veterans at the 4th Annual Veterans Awards, because we were able to connect, share ideas, and here we are now creating even more goodness out of everything. The more I got to know you, the more I thought, oh my gosh, she's a big deal. I really need to know. I need to learn more. And I think that our audience with Army Wife 101 would love to learn more as well, because you're really inspirational. You've been a Milspouse, you're a mother to 3, and here you are launching these amazing businesses and ideas all from the comfort of your own home. So there's something to that. So if you could first just give us a little introduction to your background, your life as a Milspouse, your family, your career, anything you'd like to share.
Yeah, awesome. So I'm actually an Army kid. My dad was active duty Army, and that's how I met my husband, Roy, in Leesville, Louisiana. And we've been married for 20 and a half years. We have 3 kids. And I was a stay-at-home mom for a majority of our marriage. I worked before we had kids. We traveled. I got a degree in PR and social media, and I just stayed home with my kids. You know, it was that season to be home, and that's where I wanted to be, and I felt like that's where I was called. And then around 2015 or 2014, my husband was deployed, and this is when I started getting on the internet and finding all these groups and communities, and I found Army Wife 101. And I tell this story all the time because Crystal Spell is, she's an inspiration to me. She's the reason I started my blog, which freaking failed. I quickly realized, so I started a blog because I was alone and I had all this time. So started writing a little bit about military spouse life and being a mom, and quickly realized there are a lot of blogs out there doing that. And it just wasn't for me. And that blog was called Dog Tags and Heels. And I wrote for about a year. And I said, this is just not my jam. You just know when something's just not right. And it's okay to quit and it's okay to fail. I said, I'm going to leave this to the bloggers, people who know what they're doing. And my husband came home. We moved to Maryland, and my youngest was going to start school. So I said, well, I guess I better use that PR degree and do something with my whole situation here. And I started looking for work. And of course, I went on base and started learning how to fill out for, what is a government job? What is it called? Some kind of the program that you got to go through and fill out certain words and all these categories. I went through all this training.
Wow.
Never got picked up for any government jobs. And then I guess my coding or the words, I didn't put enough of this words in there, whatever. And so I just started interviewing in Maryland, and I got some really great interviews, and I was really excited about the direction of where I was going. But I couldn't get a job. I knew I was super qualified. I'm a self-starter. I am super smart. I have this degree. I have all of these skill sets, that I've acquired throughout the years, and I just couldn't find a job. And I was getting the interviews, and I was getting second interviews, and I realized that it was the gap in my resume. I knew, as soon as people asked me, well, why did you leave this job? And why did you not work for 10 years? And, oh, you volunteer a lot. Why volunteer? Why not, get a job? And, it was like an elephant in the room as soon as I said, oh, I'm a military spouse. And they're like, wah, wah, they knew I was going to move. So I went to an interview one day. It was it was my third call back, and I had an interview. And they called me and said, you know, we would really love to bring you in. You definitely have what we're looking for. You could definitely run this department, but we just can't invest in you right now, knowing that you're going to be leaving. You know, my husband's Air Force, we were at a Navy base, so we knew we were going to be leaving. And so, you know, I went home and I cried and I was really discouraged and upset. And I'm like, what am I going to do with my life? I've invested in my spouse's career during TDYs and deployments and moving, and I've sacrificed so much of myself. And now I can't even do anything for myself. And so I had a big pity party that night. And the next thing I realized that I had to advocate for myself and invest in myself. And so I started my business. Oh, thank you, Stacey. I love Stacey. I started my business, and my business is called Dog Tags and Heels. Because although it has defined me, the military has defined me. I went from being a military kid to being a spouse. And so, yeah, that's my story. I'm sticking with it.
Well, I love it, and I can relate on such a personal level because I was in the PR field when my husband joined the military. So we were already married, already had a child. We made the decision together, and I walked away from that job, and it was terrifying. I did want to be a stay-at-home mom for a while, so it was a wonderful opportunity. But I remember thinking, when I come back, I'm probably not going to come in at the same rate of pay. I'm not going to come in with the same title. And, you know, it was a big leap of faith. And I feel that once your child does go to school, like for me, that's what happened once my littlest went to school, and I'm in Maryland like you were, and working with Crystal Spell, who is amazing with Army Wife 101. And I finally found something that I could do that's portable. So I can do it at my house now. I can go home to visit my family in Florida and do it. And so the fact that you were able to try many things and you didn't quit, even when the blog didn't work, even when you heard no on repeat from employers, you said, you know what, there's something for me, there's a place for me, there's a purpose. And I think that's incredible that you created this empire and that you even tweaked it. You tried something and said, you know what, that's not really me. Yeah. And instead you followed your passion. And I think that's key for any military spouse who is looking to do something for herself that she can do at home while the spouse is away, while raising kids. So I'm just, hats off to you. That's really admirable.
I mean, and there's so many spouses doing it right now. Like, there's some game changers, spouses out here kicking butt and doing some amazing things. And every time I'm on social media, I'm like, this is amazing. She's doing this. And how can I connect, or how can I support you? And I feel like I do that because I know how it feels to start out. I know how it feels to start from zero. And when you start a business, you start from zero. I had 0 followers. I had 0 clients. I had almost 0 knowledge of how to start a business. We were talking about this before. Everything I did, I Googled. Everything that I've learned, I have Googled almost everything, learned how to build a WordPress site. Everything is like, you have to do it yourself because you're just starting a business. So you don't have a lot of money if, you know, you're bootstrapping. So yeah, I mean, there are so many spouses out there doing amazing things, and I know that everybody has their season. So I just had to get through mine, and I'm really glad that I was able to stay home with my kids because my husband has a great job with the military. But now it's like, move over, man.
I know, that's mine too. That's mine too. My kids will come home and type on the computer and they're like, I'm writing an article. And I'm like, oh, right. What you see me do? That's pretty awesome.
Like, are you doing things? I'm sorry.
Sorry, mommy's busy.
Right.
It was good. I did embrace the season as it sounds like you did as well. And a friend of mine told me once she wanted to go to law school, be a lawyer, be a stay-at-home mom, homeschool, do all these things. And someone said, you can do all these things. You just can't do them all at once. Like if you know, create those chapters in your life, then you can have it all. You just have to be patient. You have to kind of embrace the season, as you said. So that's really good advice. But for those who are in the season to start doing something for themselves, now is a really great time. So I would love to talk a little bit more about some of your brands and products, just so our audience can get a feel for what you're doing. So let's see. How about we talk about your PR and social media visibility program, or I'm sorry, company, because you said you launched that just 3 years ago?
Yeah, 2015, like the winter of 2015.
Wow.
So I started the LLC. I had absolutely no idea. Like, my husband was like, I came downstairs before I poured a cup of coffee, I put my big girl panties on. I went to the Maryland website and I started an LLC. I said, Dog Tags and Heels, LLC, that's my business. And my husband said, well, what are you going to do? And I said, you know what? I have a PR and social media degree, and there is something I'm going to do. I don't know what it is yet, but there's something I'm going to do. And so it started out super simple and easy. I just did a lot of social media planning and management for local entrepreneurs, small businesses and entrepreneurs in the area. I started with a couple of local authors. I started with some restaurants and bars, and quickly started to learn like there's more out there. Started to network. I realized that networking was a huge thing when you're an entrepreneur. And that's how I got a lot of my clientele was through networking, going through chamber events and joining these local groups that focus on careers and military spouses. And so that's how I started that. It started off just all social media in the beginning, and then I started pitching for some authors and helping them like set up writing events and speaking events. And so that's mostly what my company does. We concentrate on social media impact and visibility. We pour a little PR and marketing into it. PR is a long-term relationship with your audience. It's not something that just happens really quick at one moment. And we talked about this before, Jackie. You're like, it's long-term relationships. PR is having that great Rolodex, those great networks, relationships, that even at the Vettys, like you and I talked there, and it's just getting to know each other and sharing my family and what I'm doing and, you know, my business with you. You're like, oh, wait, I didn't realize you were doing all this. And the same with your story. I'm like, oh, I didn't know you were in PR. We're PR sisters. Like, yes. So yeah, that's what we do. We help brands build brand trust, brand evangelism, and help them make social impact through social media strategic planning and marketing.
Fantastic. Well, when I write my book, I'm going to come look for you.
Hey, the door is always open.
Well, and what you said is great too. And I was just talking with our mutual friend, Charlinda Scales of Mutt Sauce, who also went to chamber events, also went to networking, because there's something about, yes, you can see names online or on a website or on LinkedIn, but when you actually meet the person and you make eye contact and you talk and you laugh and you find common ground, they're your top of mind when you think, gosh, I need a writer, or I need PR, or I need, you know, legal service. Then you go to that person. And I think just that level of connection is very important to anyone who's starting a business. So really great advice. So even though you're working from home, don't just stay at home. Don't just stay behind your computer. Get out there and connect.
Don't do it. And also, you can't build your virtual business alone. Mm-hmm. That's something I tell every military spouse I meet. Don't do it alone. Find somebody who's running in the same lane as you, who's done what you've done. Reach out to them. There's so many spouses, or even people who are not spouses, who are veterans or other entrepreneurs who are always willing to bring people up with them and lend a helping hand. Like, this is what I did, or I can connect you with this person. And that's what networking does. Like you said, top of mind. Oh, I know somebody. You need social media? You know, I know somebody. Do an email introduction. Wham. I mean, that's just how it works. Networking is everything. It's actually, virtual networking actually is where I get 95% of my clients.
Yes, I can say so far I haven't advertised anything yet, and all of my business has been referral based. So yeah. I think that's definitely key. So what I think is amazing is that in addition to this virtual business that you've launched, you've also created 3 apps. Wow. So I know I, for one, am an idea person. I get all these great ideas, but I don't always make it happen. And the fact that you're able to cross the finish line, like again and again, you've got something special about you, which I think is important as an entrepreneur, is that you act and you make it happen. So I'd love to hear, what was your inspiration behind the 3 apps? If you could describe a little bit about what they are. I just love to hear the story behind them.
So I call myself an accidental app creator. For those of you that know me, know I do not code. I have these ideas. I'm always online. I love apps. I'm always downloading them and running out of room on my phone. So one day I woke up like in a sweat, like for some reason I was like, why don't we have military filters? Like, what's going on with our society? Like, in this random thought in the middle of the night, my husband's like, what's going on? I'm like, I'm creating an app. So the next day, I just went on all of my Facebook groups and I was like, I need an app developer. So I found somebody that connected me. I had the idea for the Milcam, which is a military lifestyle filters, and it has every branch of service: Army, Air Force, Navy. Military Spouse has filters for MSOI that's coming up in this year in 2019. And the idea is to be able to have those welcome home filters that you can put on your photos during welcome homes or deployments, or celebrate military kids or branches of the military. In an app, you take a photo, you choose your filter, you share it all over social media. And then from there, Mil emoji was a kind of a conversation that I was having with my husband. I was like, how great would it be to just like text message, instead of saying TDY, you just have a little sticker, or like have the little airman, or have the Marine, woman, or whatever. You could just text back and forth, and nobody would understand that but us, right? BX, PX, TDY, deers, like all of these different lingos. And so I had somebody create that too. Apps are not as easy as they look. It has been a learning curve for me, just learning the process. And then my ultimate PCS was actually my very last app. So I said I wanted to create 3 apps. I wanted to create a series of military lifestyle apps. And so Milcam was actually the first military lifestyle app in the store, in the Apple store at all. No other military lifestyle app were in there.
That's awesome.
Then Mil Emoji came out, and Maria Reed, I met her at MIC, which is Military Influencer Conference, for those of you that don't know.
Ooh.
And whoop, whoop, we had like, I think Maria and I talked for like 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. And I thought she was really interesting. I was like, oh, you do video, that's great. We talked, I got to know a little bit about her and shared our ideas. And then we're all in mutual groups, and she posted in one of the groups, is there a PCS app? And I was like, oh, wait, honey, that is my third idea. Like, in my mind, I'm like losing my mind. I'm like, grab my phone. I'm like, babe, somebody's trying to take my idea. All this stuff, right? So I reach out to Maria. I'm like, hey, I like to have a conversation with you about that post you posted. I get on the phone. I'm like, tell me your idea. She tells me, I said, well, that's great. I already have it all written down. I have the same exact idea. And I have a developer. And that's actually the third investment I was going to make for apps. And she was like, I said, well, are you going to make the app still? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, and I am too. And she was like, okay. And I was like, okay. And then we were like, let's do it together. So
it's like a military spouse standoff where you're like,
oh, you're going to create this app? I'm creating mine too.
We get things done as Milspouses, you know what I mean?
Listen, we don't play around. And I'm the type of person, I don't wait for anything to be perfect. I just do it. I am not a perfect person. I make tons of mistakes. Developing these apps we've made tons of mistakes. But I'm glad I've gone through the process. I'm really excited about what I've created with Military Life apps. There are no other apps out there doing what my app does, and my co-partner, My Ultimate PCS. And it's just exciting. It's exciting to provide these different types of fun resources to military families. So My Ultimate PCS is for moving and military life organization. You can find out more on MoniJefferson4.com. All of my brands are listed there. So it is a moving app. It has checklists that integrate with your actual calendar in your phone. We have pre-made checklists from military spouses, and we got lots of feedback. There are resources that you can use on your move. There are inventory sections, so you could take photo of your items that you value so much, put them in an inventory section, and have it in a cloud in case you lose your phone or anything. You can always have it to file your claim. And there's actually a revamp coming along, very soon. We'll be launching before the summer. So it'll be a 1-year anniversary, and we are revamping it based on feedback from military spouses, stakeholders, and partners and sponsors. So we're really, Maria and I are super pumped about it.
Well, I have to tell you, I knew about I think it was the Milcam filter app before I knew you. Like
Oh,
I
awesome.
already knew of it and I thought, oh, this is so clever. Why haven't I seen this before? So I think the fact that you're one, able to identify a problem or an area of need and then present a solution is great. And two, I've noticed in talking to these really successful military spouse entrepreneurs lately, there's this hallmark in your personality where you all just do it. You don't care if it's 100% perfect. You know that you can keep tweaking it and working it, but you get it out there. And I myself am a perfectionist and I have let that slow me down. And I'm like, no more. I'm just going to start launching things and then I'll just keep building and learning as I go. So that itself, I think, is a huge key to success as far as doing it. Because if you wait too long, someone else might beat you to the punch again and again and again.
And I think there's a lot of negative self-talk too.
Right. That's true. That is so true. Like there's a quote to the effect of there's somebody out there less qualified than you that's already out there doing it.
Yes.
When I heard it, I was like, oh my gosh, yes. Because I know sometimes you think, well, do I have the experience, the academic background, the this, the that? And it's like, just do it. Believe in yourself and put it out there. So there's that. I think
Our FOMO.
Yes.
Imposter syndrome is a real thing as an entrepreneur because you're always comparing yourself to other spouses or other organizations or entrepreneurs that are doing something similar or something that you would like to do. Or you always feel like, am I qualified enough? Do I have enough education? Do people respect me enough? Do they think I'm smart enough? So I think that's a real thing as an entrepreneur, but I think affirmations and just doing it and not waiting long, like you said, like I feel like the longer you wait, the more negative self-talk happens. So you need to find people that are your cheerleaders, right? So Jackie, next time you have an idea and you're like, I don't know, just message me. I'm gonna be like, you better do that. Go buy the domain, go make the Facebook page, send me your strategy. Like, just do it. So
I love it. And honestly, I think the more time you spend worrying about, is it perfect or what is everyone else doing? That's less time you're spending on developing your own brand and your own product. Like if you focus that energy into your goal and your mission and then just go all in, I mean, it seems like so much time and energy wasted that could be towards building your future. So I'm definitely seeing all these wonderful patterns in between all of you who are incredibly successful and you're making names for yourselves. You're doing great things in the community. And it's just a real inspiration to other military spouses who are thinking, what do I do next? Like, I need to do something. I want to do something. I have this purpose. You can realize that purpose. So I just keep doing what you're doing and be my cheerleader. I'll definitely call you on that.
Yeah.
And I'll return the favor.
We all have those days.
Oh, for sure. So what can you tell me about this Pitch Like a PR Pro program that you've got?
So actually, the Pitch Like a PR Pro is a program I have created with Kristen Smith, who is a genius. You can find her at Blog Your Genius. She is also a blogger that I actually admire. She's a great writer and a community connector. And she's like, Moni, why don't you do this? And I was like, I've been wanting to, but I didn't know. And so she was like, let's do it together. So Pitch Like a PR Pro is actually a course that helps you understand what PR is, how to implement it into your business, and how to start just like going out there and pitching yourself and screaming from the mountaintops about your business, your product, or your service. Another reason it was created is because I know that when you first start, you don't have all the money in the world to hire a publicist or a person to manage your social media. And so this is a way for me to say, hey, I can't, you can't, this is what I'm giving you all of the information. You just have to go implement it. And I love it. We've gotten really great feedback, lots of great feedback of especially military spouses who've used it to create media kits or pitch emails and pitch strategies and what a strategic bio is and why it's important to have a bio online for those that you want to work with, collaborate, or partnership with, because that's the first place they research. They go to Facebook. People don't even look. They go right to Facebook to see what you're doing. So I'm just kind of walking them through from beginning to end, from idea of pitching, idea of PR to sending that pitch.
That's fantastic. That is super important because, like you said, the money's not always there when you're bootstrapping, and there's a lot of information out there. And I feel like if you can find something that's streamlined and from someone who's proven that they've done well in the industry, then that's an excellent resource. And it is important to represent your brand well, because when people don't know you and you're first putting it out there and you don't have all these great all these wonderful reviews or referrals yet, it's a wonderful place to start by putting your best foot forward. So I love that you've got that put together in a nice, neat package. I'm sure I'll have to definitely check that out. So are you ready to talk about your Milspouse creative?
I am. That's my baby.
Let's talk about your baby. What can you tell us about?
So the Milspouse creative, I mean, every time I think about it, I just get my heart just gets really happy. It's a community I created in 2016. And I created it out of need of being lonely, exhausted, confused, all the things you are when you first start your business. I knew there were other Facebook groups out there that were about entrepreneurs, and there were other groups out there for military spouses, but I couldn't find one that combined both, that understood my unique journey. That some of these groups, you could tell there were a lot of cliques, a lot of people who knew each other, and I felt like I don't really know anybody here. They don't understand my journey because I move every 3 years, or my spouse is gone for a year, or every 3 months, or we're on night shift for 3 months and then day shift. And so the uniqueness of me being an entrepreneur was totally different than anything I found out there. So I created the Milspouse Creative, a place for military spouse entrepreneurs and creatives to connect, collaborate, and cultivate in a virtual space, a place where they could feel comfortable asking these really small questions or big questions or sharing their ideas, and a place for them to collaborate, because they feel like collaboration in this space can really help you leverage whatever you're doing. And that's how I built my business. It's a lot of collaboration, a lot of partnerships, and just supporting each other. And so I created that community in 2016. We have about 1,415 members who are part of that community. Communities for any military spouse, retired, active, reserve. We even have some veterans in the community as well who have brands that hire military spouses, or they purchase products from them to sell in their business. So we do have some veterans in the space as well.
Fantastic. Fantastic. You're right. It is so unique. And we've dealt with that schedule of the nights and the days and then deployments and TDYs. And I think it is unique because it does present new challenges. When I had my boys home during my husband's last deployment, I was like, they're out of school. I've got deadlines and clients to serve. They've got to go to summer camp. I think it's really important to collaborate, which is exactly what we're doing right now. I mean, you and I met in person, and here we are. You're giving me some really great video content to provide. I'm helping getting your message out to our audience. So I think this is just a perfect example of the power of collaboration.
Exactly.
So I know that you've got, I'm going to put your website up here again as well, because you know what? I'm going to actually type in the special address that you gave me at the beginning of our conversation.
Yes, I'm so excited about announcing this. I have been working on it for months.
Yeah, if you want to start talking about it, I'll be
I'm going to be 100% authentic right now. So I have been wanting to do this for over a year. And I didn't do it because I was scared. I was scared. I was scared of what others were going to think of me. I was fearful of the outcome. And about 3 months ago, I said, what the heck? I'm just going to do it. Take my own advice and I'm going to do it. So in March, the Milspouse Creative is launching the MC Insiders, which is a membership community for military spouses who want to build a career of their dreams, no matter where you're stationed during TDYs or deployments or PCSs. You know, the circumstances of our lifestyle do not create who we are. We can still do a business. So I'm really excited. It's for military spouse entrepreneurs and creatives who want to go deeper, have a more intimate connection, to implement community and build their business, and just take it to another level. So we do have a coming soon page, and you can join it there so you can get the information that's coming soon. And the monthly membership is going to be for ambitious, game-changing, big dreaming military spouse, creatives, and entrepreneurs. We're going to have things like virtual co-working spaces. Like, so many of us work from home. How great is it to just like have a bunch of us in a Zoom room and share ideas and bounce different content across each other's desk, and then say, oh, hey, that would work with this. Let's collaborate. Let's do this together, kind of thing. We're going to have hot seats. We will have accountability. I find a lot of time, and in the Milspouse Creative, which is a free community, a lot of what people say is that they don't have accountability, don't know how to stay accountable. They need mentorship and they need camaraderie. And that's what this community is going to do for them. We're also going to have quarterly strategy sessions, which is part of the PR in me, because I was like, we got to do this. So we'll have strategy parties at the end of each quarter, and then have accountability and support for the next quarter. So everybody will know what everybody's working on and how we can do it together. And of course, we're offering master classes from experts that are going to be offering information for military spouse entrepreneurs specifically. So this is what makes this community, this membership, so unique. What we're talking about is for military spouses specifically. So we have a webinar this month, tax prep from military spouse entrepreneurs. Last month, we had PR for the military spouse entrepreneur. Every single month, it's going to be very laser focused on you, the military spouse, building a career of your dreams, starting your business, not knowing where to start, or leveraging your business in this community with game-changing military spouses who want to do things, who are not calling their business a side hustle. They are like, this is my business, this is my skill set, and I'm rocking it. You know what I mean? So I'm really excited, and you can go join the wait list to get more information about that launch coming in March. I'm so excited.
That sounds fantastic. And so for anyone who's watching, whether you are just starting out and you want to do something more, this is a really great way to team up with others who are already doing it, who can share their experience and insight with you. Or for those of you who are already at it, it's always wonderful to get new ideas, new information, connect and collaborate. So I think this sounds like a really valuable resource for people like you and I who are here working from home independently. And I love that you're adding in the accountability. I think that'll help a lot of people find success, because I know traditionally as women, as mothers, as military spouses, it is so easy to put everybody else first. It's like, okay, let me make sure the kids are taken care of, or my husband knows where his PT belt is, But when you think, okay, well, what am I doing for myself? Have I focused on my business today? Have I focused on my well-being? I think that's wonderful. And just having that village is going to help so much. So
yeah, I'm really excited about putting this together. We've worked really hard each month. There's a different strategy, the accountability, the co-working space. It's really exciting. I'm really pumped about it. So
yay. Well, your enthusiasm is contagious. I can tell that you're really passionate. You love what you do. You're just growing and building at a rapid rate. And I love that you're sharing that with others. I think that's a really good way to give back to the community and help other military spouses and veterans succeed in their brands as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, do you have a piece of advice you would like to offer to anyone who is looking to launch their own business from home?
Yeah, I would say definitely find somebody or a mentor community that is going to help you in the process. Those that understand your journey, your unique journey. So I would say find somebody who you can mentor, or who can mentor you, or find a tribe. And the other thing is, don't wait for things to be perfect. Just do it. Just do it. Buy the domain, start the Facebook page, start pitching yourself, and you do it. It's not going to be perfect at first, but you will get better. I promise.
I think that's so good. And I'm learning that perfection is just an idea. It's an illusion, and it's something that can just slow you down and hold you back. But as soon as you put yourself out there, you decide that this is the path you're going to be on, and you find a team of others to help lift you up, I don't think you can go wrong. So, well, thank you so much for being with me today. This was Moni Jefferson. As you can see, we've got her website there. It's a great landing page that will take you anywhere you want to go within her wonderful world of brands and products, MoniJeffersonPR.com. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thanks for having me, Jackie. I appreciate it. And Army Wife 101, I appreciate it.
Oh, our pleasure. And thank you all for watching. Have a fantastic day.
Bye.